Learning from someone and then practicing was how you acquired 99.9% of your skills. From simply holding a pen correctly to drawing your first words, to then getting proficient enough at your job that they actually pay you for it. If you ask, anyone will tell you that it's through learning and practicing that you get good at any skill, job, hobby or sport. However, when most motorcycle riders face difficulties, they often end up wasting years of their lives, blaming themselves, blaming their bikes, instead of immediately searching for professional help. And when they do, they often do it inside shops with shopkeepers instead of inside schools with instructors. Why you should consider getting lessons from an instructor or a school will be the topic of the day. Hello adventurers, my name is Diogo Guerra and this is OFFroad-OFFcourse. A couple of weeks ago I was invited to participate on a level 1 riding course here in Portugal promoted by ACM. An absolutely fantastic team of professionals that have been doing this for years. Their main job is to train the riders for the Portuguese National Guard, so they really know what they are doing. And the best part for me was to observe this workshop from the trainee's perspective, which gave me the opportunity to realize, or to remember, how useful and efficient these training events really are, which inspired me to make this video. You see, a huge percentage of riders really struggle, and there are many more than you would think. And it's not that they cannot ride fast, the problem is that they cannot ride at all. Some will stress and huff and puff just to get their bikes out of their garages. Others don't know how to brake properly and would die immediately without an ABS. And a lot of them won't be confident or able to do simple technical maneuvers like keeping the bike up straight and balanced at low speeds. Riding with such lack of skills is an accident waiting to happen. And even if we ignore that fact, then in the end it's just too stressful to be fun. So you are putting yourself through a great amount of risk and getting nothing in return. No bueno. This being said, here go 4 reasons why you should seek instruction from an instructor or a school today. Skills can be learned in a single day. Getting good enough riding a motorcycle is not like going to the gym where you only see results after months of suffering. The great majority of initial skills a rider needs to become independent, confident and able to enjoy his bike are simple. You can learn them in a couple of hours and practice them in a couple 100 kilometers. I poop you not. And before the bad people of the internet have a chance to say anything, let me make clear that obviously there is a difference between skill and experience. Experience, you actually need to ride for a few years, maybe 10 years, before you develop your third eye, like I used to say, or your spider senses, which allow you to predict a lot of situations and then use the necessary skills to avoid them. Besides, a good instructor or school will be able to teach you so many skills and convey so much information in a single day that you will shortcut years of reading stuff here and there, talking to this guy or this other guy. It's basically like time travel, but not really. There is a skill or technique for everything. Some people will blame their height, others blame the height of their bikes, or their tires, or their own physical condition. In the end, those are just excuses. A good instructor will teach you things that are so efficient at mitigating your problems and so ironically simple that you will want to slap yourself across the face for not wanting to learn them sooner. It's not about becoming Rossi. A level 1 training session is meant for level 1 people who need to learn the fundamentals. So don't be afraid, never think that you are not good enough to learn, which makes no sense whatsoever. It's totally worth the money. And before I explain why, I want to thank Pedro Rodrigues for convincing ACM to invite me for their training session. Pedro also interviewed me a few days later for his podcast, which I would like all my Portuguese followers to hear. There will be a link in the description. I also want to thank ACM, of course, and I totally recommend anyone watching this video to contact them if you are looking to improve your overall safety and on-road riding skills. These guys are really good and very fun to be with. And if off-road is your thing, then obviously I will recommend myself. However, I also want to suggest that you check the BNADV Adventure School, run by Zé, an old friend of mine. He runs his adventure riding school in the south of Portugal. He has a very special way with words, a ton of knowledge, and probably one of the most updated curriculums out there. Pay him a visit and don't forget to use my discount code for, So speaking of which, why is instruction always worth the money? Well, to begin with, because 1 hour with an instructor will do more for your own riding style and your safety than any €1,000 upgrade, especially if you are a beginner. It's like I always say, it's 20% the bike, 80% the rider. Besides, a day spent training is not just about the value of the skills you learn. It's also about the fun you have, the new like-minded people you met, the bike talk during lunch, the ideas you shared, and sometimes the new riding buddies you made. So if you think of it as an event, you will see that it's totally worth the money, being it with a freelancing instructor like myself or with a bigger school like ACM or BNADV. Well, and now I'm done. I hope that you enjoyed, see you next week and happy rides!